Okay, right. Now the recording has started. Welcome everybody. So just briefly, you should be able to see on the screen now a presentation slide, which should include the logo of the EMC, and then there should be a logo of Discourse, and then a QR code, and then also the website link. So basically, just to briefly introduce, of course, today we're going to be discussing the new energy modeling community forum page, which is being hosted by Discourse. So if you haven't already been online, if you haven't looked at it, signed up, etc., don't worry about that. Today's hopefully going to give you all of the tools to be able to sign up and make the most of the website, and hopefully you can start interacting as soon as we're finished here today. That would be good. So yeah, feel free now, even while I'm talking, while I'm going through this webinar, to scan the QR code or type in the URL on your web page and go access the website, sign up, etc. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to sign up and you can sort of follow me as I go through the different features that you can use. So just to introduce myself, because I feel like it's been a while since I've done one of these webinars. I'm Kane Alexander, currently the EMC and lead and CLEWs model curator, and I'm currently a research assistant at Imperial College, hence the nice background you can see behind me. And yeah, so we've gradually been doing more stuff within the EMC, and with the help of one of my colleagues, Naomi Tan, we've finally got like a nice online platform space with this Discourse forum where we can share information, use for troubleshooting, people can collaborate, and we're really hoping this space is going to be really cool. And just for a bit of ground knowledge, we used to have some Google groups. Well, we still do have some of them, but these groups are closing. So if you're in either maybe like the OnSSET, FinPlan, or CLEWs one, you will have seen that we posted a message in there to say that the group will be closing. And then the OSeMOSYS one is closing also, but unfortunately that was sort of hacked, so we actually don't have access to that. So we needed somewhere that was a bit could have everything in one place, maybe a bit more interactive than the Google Groups, and a good space for collaboration. And as you'll see shortly, this space has a lot of coverage for tool discussion, but much more than that, you can engage with all of the tools and all of the members of the community in one place, which is one of the best things about the website, I think. And basically, we just want to be able to have a platform that people can use to work with each other. I think I've mentioned many of times, and some of you may be bored of hearing this, but the idea is to build this community and have this community not run/owned by me, CCG, that kind of thing. We want this community to be grow and be led by you guys, whether you are an alumni of an EMP, or whether you're a tool user or completely new in the space or educator or lecturer, etc. We want to make sure that you guys can work together and give you more opportunities to make that easier. And I think this Discourse forum is certainly one of the ways we can do that. So, yeah, as I think that gives a good introduction of the purpose of this. So I think I can change my screen sharing, and maybe at the end of the end of me going through the website, I'll put the same slide back up just in case anybody else wants to view it. But I also shared the link to the website in the chat, which should be there. I'll just share it again just in case anybody else needs it. And if you're watching on YouTube, it will be in the description. So you should be able to access it really easily. So I will change the screen I am sharing. Okay, so let me just move that out of the way. So hopefully everybody can now see my screen. If you can't see my screen, let me know, but I'm gonna assume that you can. So as you can see here, we have this lovely new maybe interface, you might call it, based within Discourse and for the Energy Modeling Community Forum. Just to be aware that the website link or URL is different. It's forum.euphoria, which is actually, we have had one of these before, but it's sort of taken on new lease of life, let's say, with this new update. So this is the energy modeling community, but Euphoria is related to the Euphoria goals, which is an initiative to do with the Optimus community. So very much a part of what we do here, but more of a legacy name. And this is more about the actual energy modeling community that we've been doing for almost 1 year now. So that's again a good thing to note. So I have the list of things that I'd like to discuss with you, and just show you how you can make the most of different aspects of the website. So, firstly, I'm just going to quickly log out, just so you can see, when you come onto this page before you sign up, log in, etc., you'll see this. So, actually, you can still access, different parts of the system. So, for example, if you haven't logged in yet, please ignore those. If you haven't logged in yet, you can still see some of the categories, and you can access some of the posts. So, if you went to the general tab, for example, you can still see the topics or the leaderboards, etc. And you're able to click on a page. However, if you wanted to reply, you would have to then log in. So you can still access some of the features and some of the information without logging in, but if you want to like really engage with the community and be posting and etc., then you should sign up and create an account. So simply here, obviously not available because I already have my account. So your email, your username, create a password. Following that, you should receive an email which allows you to approve it and just activate your account, and then it will take you through into the login page. And so hopefully then when you log in like me, it should bring you to this page, not that page. It should bring you to this page here. So now, as you can see it's kind of different to what you saw before. A few more features on the left-hand side, and maybe now you can see my picture and stuff like that. Just one thing to note for anybody watching this now or on YouTube is that you may see, throughout me talking through this, you may see some features that aren't accessible to you because I'm an admin member, so I have certain access that isn't granted to the general user. So there may be times where you might see something and think, "What's that?" But unless I probably talk through it, it's just something that maybe is only to do with the people who are admin members. So I think first of all, I really like this interface myself. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I'm really excited about what we can use it for and how you guys can sort of make the most of it. And particularly, you log in straight away and you're struck with this quite nice blue feature and some featured posts, which I think is a really nice way when you first enter the site. So you have the welcome to our community, a nice little message, and then obviously a search bar with filters, which I think I will lead to just not yet. But firstly, I just wanted, out of everything, you can obviously see this welcome bit, and then you can see these 3 pinned posts. So currently, level admin members such as myself would be able to edit these and change these around. But currently we have 3 pinned posts, which are probably the most important posts for new members. If you're a new member, even if you're not a new member and you're watching this just to understand what the forum is about, I recommend reading these 3 posts. So firstly, you have the help us make this forum better. So, this is like a site feedback one. So maybe, let's say in a few weeks' time, if you're someone who's been using the software quite a bit, and there's something that actually you think could be done better, there's something you would like included, etc. If you follow this sort of post, then you'll be able to give some feedback on what you think the forum could include or what you think could be done better. So it's clearly outlined here of how to do this. Then the second pinned post is how to use this forum, which is probably the most important post of all. So as it says here, it brings together users and developers of energy modeling and financial planning tools, including OnSSET, OnStove, MAED, OSeMOSYS, CLEWs, FlexTool, FFRM, MinFin, and FinPlan. This also includes NISMOD now, which is a more recent tool that we should probably add to this list of tools. And again, it says here, use this space to troubleshoot technical issues, share and discover new publications, announce or learn about events. Each tool has its own category, and within that, you can find 4 subcategories. So I showed you on the just previously site feedback if you have any ideas about what feedback could go into this webinar, into this forum from this webinar, then maybe one of those things might be a new category. So currently we have troubleshooting, which is about any issues that you face to do with specifically the modeling or how to use the tool, data, etc. Events, so there might be an energy modeling platform, there might be a 2-day CLEWs training, there may be a webinar online that you're running related to OnSSET, etc. Papers, again, quite self-explanatory. If there's any related papers to that tool, something maybe that you've done, or maybe you just found a cool paper online that you thought was relevant and you'd like to share with your peers. And then random related content. So by random related content, that's quite broad purposefully, because it just gives you a chance to sort of include whatever you would want, but making sure that it's still related to the tool or the community. And to bear in mind that as admin members, we can remove posts, comments, block users, etc. So we will still be monitoring the site to make sure that the content being posted is relevant and that people aren't just uploading stuff just because they want to put it out there or it's not useful, etc. So do please bear in mind when you are uploading things, making sure that it is relevant to the discussion here. So you will find that underneath how to use this forum, after the bit I've just discussed, there is a short explainer for each one. So posting a troubleshooting query, you go to the relevant tool, so as for example, OSeMOSYS and troubleshooting, you would click plus new topic, give your post a clear and descriptive title in the post, and then in the post body it may include different things of what you've faced, right? And the tip is to provide more detail because then others can help fast. Ideally, with troubleshooting in particular, we hope that as over time we have more users and people, their skills with the tools increase. Hopefully, it won't be the general people you might see like me or Fernando or Naomi replying to these queries. Hopefully, it will be your peers replying to you, giving you feedback, helping you with your problems. Again, announcing or sharing an event, very similar, and you would just be able to choose the subcategory and follow the process. I think probably once you've done this once, it will become very self-explanatory, and I'm going to show you how to do a post. I'll just do a really basic post for you so you can see what's included. But again, for announcing or sharing an event, a bonus. After the event, feel free to edit the post or comment to share slides, recording, or follow-up link. So that's quite a nice feature. You are able to go back to your post once you've done it at a later date and edit it. So maybe you could just add a short section with the date saying, outputs of the event is these, please find them here, or include a photo or something like that, which is always nice. And then the same with sharing a publication, simple sort of follow a way to do it. Sort of these bullet points aren't necessarily rules you have to stick to, but certainly something that I think is quite useful to do. So just helps to keep the forum quite organised, and following a similar structure for everyone means it's easy to understand. And then finally, again, it says here, got any questions about the forum itself? You can just post them in the site feedback category. And yeah, thanks for being part of this growing community. So as you can see here, at the bottom of here, it also tells you how many views this has had. You can like it. So obviously I can't like it because I already have. You can copy a link to this post to Clipboard. So if you want to send it to your friend who is already a Discourse member with our forum, you can just copy and share the link and they can click on it and log into their account. Or maybe you actually want to share it to them and they don't have an account. So you say, oh, you really need to look at this, but please make an account for the forum. Might be a nice way to invite people because they might feel like they're missing out on the information if they can't properly access it. But as I said before, you still can access some of the posts without having an account. You just can't fully engage with it. And then here, there is other show more, so that you can flag it, you can edit it, you can bookmark it, you can delete, I think you can delete the topic if you've created it, or level admin members such as myself can do so. And then there is a sort of admin tool that I'm not necessarily going to show you because it's not relevant to the wider group. And then again, you can reply to this topic. And then further down, it will give you related topics. So this is sort of a AI feature, I believe, that sort of will give you suggestions based on what you're viewing here. So these are all different discussions that have happened previously, and the system's just recommending you to look at them. So just as another thing which I use quite often, of course you can press back to go backwards on the arrow, but if you ever just think, oh, I need to go back to where I've come from, but I'm not sure how to get there without going to the home page, you can quite easily just click the Energy Modeling Community logo, and that will just take you back to where you started. And then the third post which is pinned, just gives you a sort of introduction and a welcome. So, consider it, you have created an account or log in, and then as it says, it only takes a moment. And then these are just some recommendations that you can do to get involved from the outset. So introduce yourself, by adding a picture, information about yourself to your profile, get to know the community by browsing discussions. You can contribute as soon as you join, start posting comments, adding things that you think might be useful. Posting about stuff as soon as you like is more than good enough. And a feature that we'll get to shortly, you can see here, I've actually bookmarked this, and I will get back to it later, where I can show you how you can view those bookmarks, which is also again a really nice feature. So I think that probably covers the three main posts. So for anybody in the webinar now or watching on YouTube, once you make an account and once you log in, the first thing I would do is read these three pinned posts. And to be honest, that probably gives you enough information to be able to use this site in the right way. You probably don't even need this webinar, but I would still encourage you to stay and listen just in case there's some useful things that you might miss out on. So just to go through a few of the categories, I think I already covered the site feedback one. As I said, that is simply just to sort of give feedback on the forum or the different categories, maybe make requests for things you want, or something that you think could be done better, something that's done bad. Definitely put it into the site feedback one. Then the general tab, I think, is something I would say. So the general tab is just not related to any specific tool, let's say. So if you have a discussion point based on FinPlan, certainly put that in the FinPlan category. Whereas if your discussion point is more general, so let's say you are hosting a training event for modeling tools in general, or there's a call for proposals related to energy modeling in general, or there is a COP event that's sort of you're hosting, or you think people would be interested to do, that isn't quite fitting for one tool, then you would probably use the general tab. So you can sort of see there's one at the bottom called about the general category, and it says here simply create topics here that don't fit into any other existing category, which sounds self-explanatory, but I think we just want to make sure people are using the categories for tools in the best way possible. So, for example, if I was hosting a training event, but we weren't quite sure what tools to include, and we wanted to gather some information from the community on what people are interested in the most and how they think a training could be structured, maybe I would post it here. Or if there is a job that's kind of related to energy modeling or the wider community but isn't one of our tools, then maybe you would post it here. And just to highlight, within subcategories, there is actually a job opening feature. So you could post, say, oh, there is this job, this organization, which is in the realm of energy modeling. However, it's not specific to one of the tools. However, I thought the community might still be interested. Then you would probably post that here. So I think the general tab is very much about posting stuff not tool specific, but you still think is relevant. And again, maybe the general tab could become a place where interaction between just the wider community can occur. Although I would still encourage that to be mostly in the tool categories. But generally, if there's a post that you really want to do and you don't know where it fits, then it probably goes here. Okay, so that's the general category. And then the site feedback, I've already gone through that, as you can see. Then what you should see here, you might not see the staff one because, or you may see it, that's fine, but yeah, I'm not sure if it comes up unless you're an admin member. But then you will see the other categories. So we have OnSSET, OnStove, NISMOD, MAED, OSeMOSYS, CLEWs, FlexTool, FFRM, MinFin, and FinPlan. So these are all the current categories related to the energy modeling tools around CCG at the moment and the wider community and our relevant partners. However, that's not to say that this is the only categories we can have. So, as I've already mentioned, if you feel there's a category missing or something we could include, then please recommend it. And I would not be surprised if in the coming months and years there will be loads more tools on here as this community grows and people create new tools and new partnerships form, which I think it would hopefully be really interesting. So just to highlight, you can clearly see, for example, MAED FlexStore, there is no post there, whereas some others like FinPlan, CLEWs, OnSSET already have quite a few posts. That is because we have drawn in the old posts from the Google groups and they have been uploaded here. So some of those old posts may still be relevant. So we thought it would be useful just to have those in there already, whereas some of the other tools, those weren't available. And then nice to see with NISMOD and OSeMOSYS, we have already had some posts in there. Okay, sorry, I think my screen, not this one. We have already had some posts in there, which is really great, and hopefully that will look like that for the rest of them. I think I just saw message in the chat to say Energy Access Explorer is not in there yet. That is correct, and there will be future discussions with myself and some other people about how we can incorporate EAE within this, because the guys over at WRI I think are quite keen to do so. So if you are interested in EAE being here, watch this space. I'm sure very soon it will be a part of this, but at the moment it's not on there. But shortly in the future, I'm sure it will be. So just to put you at ease. So yeah, this is just simply the home page. I think I've probably gone over this for quite a while now, so I'd like to show you some of the little features that maybe are more hidden away from the home page. So once you get used to this, I'm sure it'll become very easy to use. But for example, if you want to post in any category and any sort of topic, you can do this straight from the homepage. You wouldn't even necessarily have to open a category. So I'm going to show you how to do this from the homepage, and then I'm going to show you how to do it in a category. So for example, you would just simply click new topic, and you can make this bigger, you can make it smaller, you can drop it down so that when I've dropped that down, post draft in progress, tap to resume, that will stay there until you resume that draft, which is a really nice feature actually. So if you're sort of thinking about what to say and you think, oh, I need half an hour to think about it, I'm going to go back later, or you get stuck on another task, you can keep this as a draft, right? So let's just say I'm going to do this post now, and I'm just going to put the title is webinar draft. And then let's say I want to post it. So right here now, you can see all these different categories, which may get a little bit confusing when you're posting from the main page. So let's just make it easy, and you want to just post it in sort of NISMOD more generally. You could pick NISMOD, and then you also have tags, which is currently there is featured. However, you can create your own, or in time as those get created, there'll be more. So maybe I just want to go data. Then I'm going to create the tab data, and I'm going to just say, in true coding fashion, I'm just going to put hello world. And again, if I want to just edit this, I can make it bold, I can make it italic, which, as you can see on the right hand side, it will show you how the message appears. So this sort of box here, you're sort of editing it here and structuring it how you want. Whereas on the right hand side, it will appear sort of how you've asked for it. I can make it a heading, which is kind of cool, and there's lots of different options for that. I can then remove it again. I can add links, so paste a link or search topics, and then you can link a specific bit of text. And then that will be, inputted into here. You can block quote out. So here I could possibly put, I'll just show you what it looks like. So if I put my name, and then that would block out, and then I would just continue like this. And then I can go off the block quote if I wanted to, so if you wanted to create, let's say, more of an educational post with some sort of pinpoints of you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you can have let's say, the main text inside the block quote block quotes or vice versa. So you can really split the text up and structure it quite well. You can have titles, as I say, headings. Then you can also have pre-formatted text. So you can just type or paste your code here, which is really nice, which will probably be useful for some of the tools that require like Python or Jupyter Notebooks, etc. You can include images. So let's just see, what can I'm just going to put the QR code. There's the QR code. So that probably took what, 2 seconds, I think. So you can include images in the text really easily. And then you can have bullet points, you can have numbers, you can include emojis, which you can pretty much do anything you want here, which is kind of why I like this page so much because you can really structure these posts in so many ways. You could use it for teaching, just for general queries, event promotion, etc. And then there are also this button of options, so quote whole post, insert table, insert date and time, create policy, yeah, etc. One thing that currently isn't here is GIFs because there is an option for us to include that, but I think that maybe we will see over time if that's the sort of thing I think is relevant. Because as much as we want this community to be interactive and fun, I'm not necessarily sure myself. If GIFs are the right thing for this page, I think emojis will suffice for now. But if there's a real demand for it, I'm sure we can include it. So that's sort of creating a new topic straight from the home page. So now I've closed that, I've deleted it. So now I'm going to actually go in and post something. So I will go to CLEWs because as a CLEWs man myself, this is sort of my page and I'll be very active on here. And as you can see, we have CLEWs here, we have subcategories. So there's troubleshooting, which has 75 posts, obviously all related to sort of legacy posts. We have events, which are none, papers 1, random related content 1, and then currently no tags. But if you search them, there's nothing there. So maybe I'll do a quick post now. And as you can see, 6 hours ago, I actually did a post just welcoming myself to the community. And I would encourage everyone to sort of do these kinds of posts. So if you're a CLEWs member, what I would encourage you to do is open this post and reply to my post and say hello, introduce yourself, why you're here, what you'd like to get out of this forum. So yeah, let's just do an actual draft and so it appears. And then maybe if you've already made an account, you can go on and view my page, view my post. So I'm going to say what I want is currently we have CLEWs as a whole. I can post it just in the main page, or I can have it troubleshooting, papers, random related content, events. So let's say events because there aren't any posts there yet. And then I'm going to create a new tag called webinars. And then I'm going to just say, hello, everyone. I'm simply going to do that. Obviously, I know I said maybe I'll add something cool, like I like CLEWs modeling, which is of course very nerdy but very specific to the tool. Um, and then I'll just end my post with this. So really easily, I've just created something really simply, and maybe I'll just create this topic. Ah, well, that's something I learned new. Title must be at least 15 characters. Well, you learn something new every day. So let's just go like this. So now I've created this topic. And as you can see now, it's come up as me, Kane Alexander. 1 minute ago, hello everyone, I like you, CLEWs modeling, enjoy your day. And then as you can see here, it's got the category for CLEWs, the category, subcategory events, and then also it's got a tag of webinars. So if I go straight back to my home page and I want to go back to CLEWs, I can now see in terms of activity, which you can sort of rank it by, it will usually be ranked as first. So I can now see that was ranked as the first one because it's the most recent, and I can see my post. Now, let's say I just want to specifically look at events. So now I would do that, and there is just one post, which was me. Then I can actually, maybe I want to remove that filter, and I just want to look at webinars tagged. Then again, I can only see that post. So as you can use CLEWs here, you can switch to Flex Tool and OSeMOSYS and other ones. You can do the exact same thing with subcategories here. So for example, if I wanted to go to OnSSET and I wanted to select subcategories and troubleshooting, it should, maybe they're not there. Okay, they're not appearing, but that's fine. Let me go back to my discussion point on clues. So yeah, so we'll click events and see somebody's kindly liked my post. Thank you very much, whoever that was. I think I can view it. Um, Great. Yeah, thanks for liking my post. But as you can see there, it's really easy to do so. So there's lots of information you can include in there, and there's a real big amount of flexibility, I think, in how you can structure your post and what you can include in there, which I think is really nice. And basically, the opportunities for what you can post and how you can post it is sort of endless, with the amount of pictures and different ways of including the text. I think it's really, 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 really nice. And maybe while we're here, just to show you, as it says here, there are no more event topics. Are you ready to start a new conversation? So it's just a prompt. And again, it's just another prompt to be able to do that. So there are loads of ways to create topics really easy. So hopefully people will be able to now see what I've done here and then go ahead and create them themselves. So, uh, so what have we done so far? So I've gone through, I think, all of the kind of basics, all the things you need to know, and how to create a post, how to view categories, how to use tags, etc. So I think now we can just move on to maybe some of the other features which are sort of behind the first interface. So firstly, I think it's just cool to show there is actually a light and dark mode or an auto mode. So mine's set to auto, so I think maybe at like 6 o'clock it would go to dark, but we can change it to dark mode if you're feeling like Batman, or we can change it to light mode if you're feeling more like Superman, maybe. But I usually just keep it on auto. But again, just another nice little feature that is included, which means you can change between the two. Then one thing I didn't mention previously was the search bar here. So as you can see, I had some recent searches, and you can actually filter out, and there are sort of advanced filters for this. So all categories, maybe I just want to go to NISMOD, uh, open categories tagged. Maybe I just want to search that, and then straight away, just by choosing two advanced filters, I found, oh great, this looks cool. This was 1 day ago. NISMOD starter data kits, very interesting. Maybe I'll open that up. And then boom, I'm straight in there. And it also says, well, this is the first time that Tom R has posted. Let's welcome them to the community. So you may see this and think, whoa, that maybe what he's posted is really interesting to you. And you can just drop him a reply and say, thanks so much for posting this, Tom. Hope to see more from you. Then this, or you can just simply just search clues, press enter, and a whole list of things will come up, and it might give you what is most recommended or maybe the most interactive with from the start, and you can sort of view more and etc. But there is also another search bar on the top right hand side, which is basically the same thing. So it actually comes up at the same time, which I didn't know that happened, but that's kind of cool that it comes up here and here. But again, just another way to find information really easily, and access the website. So I recommend, I think the search bar will probably become more useful once you're used to using the website. I think as you get used to it and you don't feel like you need to go into a category and properly follow the instructions we set out, I think once you know it, you'll be able to search, I really need to know about this specific modeling issue. You can probably type in, like time slice and then the hands on 5 and hands on 2. Oh, these will be perfect for me. So you can quickly look at them and then hopefully you would figure it out. But I think hopefully as the community grows, these search bars will become probably more used than before. Then I think next to this, so there is this one on the right hand side, which I will get to. But then thirdly, for these short icons here, we also have a messaging feature. So this is Instagram wishes it could be this good, in my opinion. I mean, this place has got everything. It's got a place to chat, it's got ways to post, ways to structure your posts. It's got everything. So you can use these chats and channels. So you can go to, you can start a personal chat. So maybe you can start a personal chat with one of your users. So currently there is no channel found for clues. However, there is a channel for staff and general. However, let's just say I want to create a new channel. So I'm just going to call it clues. Automatically add users. I'm not going to select that. Choose one or more categories. So you can actually, select categories. So I'm just going to select clues more broadly, enable threading, which means you can thread messages, create channel. So now, if anyone's part of the clues community, I can just say something in here and people can chat like that, which is, again, really useful if you just want to maybe drop a short message or get a faster response or not make it so public. And then again, as I say, Instagram would love to have these features. I think this is structured better. You can have private chat. So let's just say if I want to talk to one of my colleagues, I can really easily just drop the message and say hello, blah blah blah, and I can have a personal conversation between them. So let's say so yesterday I think it was or the day before. Somebody posted in the Clues channel and they posted about their new paper and work they'd been doing for the Dominican Republic. Maybe I wanted to ask them some questions on a more personal level and get some a bit more insight without having to use the mainstream. So I would just drop the DMs, look for their username, and then I would search the name and drop them a message, and then we can interact like that. Or you can reply to the main post. There's a lot of flexibility here. So again, this sort of chatting feature and function, I think, is a really useful thing that people should make the most of. And you can sort of create channels with colleagues around the world. Maybe you have noticed you're engaged in a sort of general discussion on this page with a few members of the community, and you're talking about data practices, and you think, oh, actually, I'd like to take this away from the main page. I'd like to create a channel. Maybe you could create a channel. Maybe you could just DM them and discuss it privately, which I think is just another useful feature that probably we didn't have before, because the Google Groups was all about, you do a post, you might get an email notification, you reply in thread, you can reply to them personally or to the whole chain. But that's it. Whereas this one is much more interactive. There's so much more going on, I think. So I think there's still quite a few more things to discuss, so I'm just going to keep rolling on. As you can see on this left-hand side, the three bars just means you can hide the left-hand side. You can, if you don't need it, which in all fairness, I think once you get used to the page, this left-hand side will either become a bit redundant to you or it become even more useful. So, you've got topics, which you can just open. My posts, you can specifically view your own. My messages, which currently, this is what I have. Review. Admin is obviously for me, so I'll go back. You can invite people. I think that any user should be able to create a link to invite. I'm not sure if that's an admin only feature, but hopefully people should be able to do that. Then categories are here. So, you've got general feedback and then all categories. You've got tags on the left, featured webinars, configure the channels, and DMs like this. So you can remove them, you can add them. So again, this sort of left-hand side feature just sort of organizes the main homepage in a more simple way. But again, you don't have to use it. You can use it. I think there's very many ways to actually make the most of this site, which is really useful. So I'm just going to hide that for now, and let's just say it's not there. Okay, so then let's just say on this left-hand side now, what you can see here is notifications. So these are all my recent notifications. So I've actually earned some badges. I've earned there's new features available. I earn another badge. I've invited people. So this is just a place where similar to any sort of even social media platforms or LinkedIn, where you get notifications related to your personal account. Then you don't have any notifications yet, so you will be notified in this panel about activity directly relevant to you. So if someone mentions you, it will be in this one here. You haven't received any likes. Well, that's quite sad. Hopefully, maybe I'll receive some more likes soon. But again, this will sort of appear when you have some likes. These are like messages from sort of from the system, personal messages, which you will also get. This is sort of bookmark. So I mentioned before that I had bookmarked a message, and if I wanted them to go and view those bookmarks, I would click my profile button in the corner, click the bookmarks, and then I can go back and view all of those that I've bookmarked. I can see somebody has their hand up, but I will come back to you at the end if that is okay. So I'm just going to show you really simply again how bookmark works. So let's just say I'm going to open up my Welcome to Clues post, which was from today. So down here we have the please ignore the admin setting, but we have share, bookmark, flag, reply, tracking. So I'm just going to bookmark that. And I can set a reminder actually. So maybe in 3 days' time, I want to see how many people have liked it, how many people have replied to it, etc. Or if there's a specific post that someone has done and they've said in 2 weeks' time, this call for proposals is closing. Maybe you'll bookmark it, save it for 3 days just to remind yourself that you actually might want to apply to it. So then if you go back to your profile picture and click this, now you can see the post by myself I've bookmarked and I can view it there. And then if you click that down, you would then be able to go and view all of the bookmarks from that. So I think then on the bottom one, you don't have any chat notifications. This is sort of notifications in general, which are related to others, as they say. And then this one here at the bottom is your profile one. So you can actually set yourself offline or online, which in theory, I don't think matters too much, but let's just say if you want to, if this community starts to grow and people are really using it quite a lot, and maybe you just want to, surf the website and just engage in the activity, but you don't want to engage and you want to make sure people are not necessarily messaging you, maybe you just set yourself offline for the day, or you can turn yourself online, etc. And then you can pause notifications for 30 minutes, 1 hour until tomorrow, or you can set your own schedule. So maybe between certain hours of the day, those notifications are paused. And then you have summary activities, invites, drafts, preferences, and log out. So now if I open summary, I'm not sure if this would look the exact same for a non-admin member, but I think it will. Some of these features are basically the same. So it summarizes my stats. It will look at my activity, notifications. It will bring those all up, messages, invites, and badges. I've run through those other ones quickly because I don't think there's really much to show in those. But badges, I think are really cool because my personal opinion, I quite like to get something out of it when I've done something. So I think I would quite like this website and forum people to use it as sort of like a competition of how you can get the most badges, who can get this. So for example, first emoji, first like, member, welcome, regular, leader. So some of these things might, be specific to an admin person. But for example, your first emoji, your first like is probably significant parts on here, and you can actually choose ones to be marked as your favorite. So maybe I'll set welcome and first like. So now these are my favorite badges, and you can sort of edit them over time, which I think is obviously maybe slightly on the childish side, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's quite fun. And then finally, I think just to show you some of the things more related to settings and personal preferences, I think it's quite important. So this one here, you have the username, so please put that wherever you like as long as it's not inappropriate. In my opinion, I would encourage people to include a profile picture. I think it would be nice to see people's faces, but you don't have to do that. If you would just like to be part of the community and not have to show your real identity, that's fine. We just want to make sure everybody's comfortable using the platform. So including your email. Please try not to spam me with emails now you've seen this. You can add an alternative email. You can give yourself a title. Then for security reasons, you can, access the password reset. You can have two-factor authentication, and it shows you here how it's linked to the app, which is something I will come to right at the very end. Then in your profile, I haven't done this yet, but you can actually include it. So you can put, I am a RA at Imperial. So I'm currently a research assistant at Imperial College London. Really easy. I'll probably come back to this myself and put this in more detail. And then you can change your time zone. You can add a location. If you've got a specific website that you want for your profile, you can go there. You can have a header. You can use card background. You can feature a topic on your profile, and you can even add your date of birth. There's a lot of information here that you can add. You probably don't. You don't need to add all of that, in all fairness. You can just add small parts of that. Emails, this is where you can sort of change your email settings. So one thing I would recommend is do check out the preferences related to emails and notifications, because if you just want to engage casually and just sometimes, post or comment, and you don't want to be bombarded with emails and messages, they can get a bit annoying. So I would make sure, like, once you've made an account, make sure you set your preferences for emails and notifications to be suitable to you, because otherwise you could, if this forum really picks up and there's a specific post that you've done and you're getting like 50 comments, 50 likes, your emails might be bombarded. So I think, yeah, just to be aware of that and to look through like changing that. I think that's quite a useful thing to know. Then notifications, currently notification when liked, you can enable them, and you can have a custom notification schedule, which I think is really cool. So for example here, if I enable that, out of these hours, your notifications will be paused. So I think that's really cool. Let's just say, for whatever reason, you've decided every day between 1 and 1:30 is when you're going to quickly check Discourse, but all the other time you don't want to know. You could just set your notifications to around that schedule. I think it's really cool. Particularly on the weekends, you probably don't want those propping up because they might get annoying. Um, then in terms of tracking, consider new topics when created in the last 2 days. You can watch categories. So like if I wanted to specifically watch OnSSET, if I want to watch a tag, honestly, you can sort of really structure this website exactly sort of how you want to do it. I think it's really cool. You can even mute something. So maybe you think, oh, I'm getting notifications for OnSSET. I don't even do OnSSET. Maybe you want to, put OnSSET into the muted category, which is something that I don't think people would be offended by in the OnSSET team. I think it just makes sense. But yeah, maybe again, a part of emails, notifications, and tracking, really useful to do so. Um, Users, I think people can mute different users or ignore them. As you can see, I haven't done that yet because I'm trying to be open, and hopefully I will be at least interacting with most of you, if not all of you. In terms of the interface, I think you can sort of edit things here. So there might be, I think this may be an admin feature, but if it's not, please have a look around and there may be new features for you. The navigation menu, simple to read, but when a topic list in the navigation menu is new or in red, you can link to the filtered list or show a count of the new items. And then the chat, you can sort of have different features for the notifications again, which again I would encourage people to look at just so you can have it very personalized to you, so you're not being bombarded with too much information you don't want. And then the AI one, currently there's no settings, but as I said before, I think AI is used to sort of recommend posts when you're viewing something else. So yeah, this sort of covers your profile and how you can do it. So it would be nice for people to use, you don't have to, but it would be nice for people to use their real names in their description, maybe sort of what tool they use, where they work, what country they're from, and have a profile picture. But as I say, I want people to be comfortable here. So if you want to use an alias name and you don't want to use your picture, you just want to simply ask about troubleshooting issues and try and fix your problems, then that is also fine. But I would encourage people to do the former. So just to take you back to your homepage, I think I'm looking at my list of things to discuss. I think there's only two more things that I wanted to discuss. So that being, I think people will have seen it multiple times throughout this webinar or this recording, but there is a leaderboard. And people might not think, oh, it's only a leaderboard, it doesn't mean anything, I'm not going to get anything out of it. However, my idea for this is I really want to encourage people to take this leaderboard seriously. And I just think it would breed healthy competition. The more you interact, the more points you get, and the more likely you are to work your way up. So currently we have Naomi Tan as the leader and I'm second. So watch this space in the next few days. I'll be bombarding this place with likes and posts, and hopefully I'll be taking that #1 spot. But I just think it's a really fun way to interact with your peers and sort of keep engaging with it. And maybe you'll think, oh, I'm in the top 10 now, maybe I'll just post something else. Of course, you don't have to post for the sake of it, but I just think it's a nice feature, something which makes the Discourse forum a bit more fun. And then finally, something that I can't necessarily show you here, but something that I can tell you about is Discourse, which is Discourse, as I showed at the start, does actually have a app I assume it's on iPhone and Android. I have an iPhone. I was able to download it, and you can basically access the forum exactly the same on your phone. So, example, when you make an account and when you want to upload a profile picture, when you want to edit your profile, all those kinds of things, maybe it's easier to do on a phone. However, I think for general use, when you're actually making the most of like this page and using a category and doing a post, the desktop version is better because it sort of crushes everything into like a into the app and it doesn't quite work as perfectly. But I would encourage people to download the app as well as this, and it will prompt you once you download the app to choose which forum it is. So which platform. So obviously the energy modeling community, but you would put in forum.euphoria.org. And then you can access it from your desktop, and from your phone, which I think is really cool. I think that probably covers everything that I wanted to discuss here. So I'm just going to change my screen back to this one. Okay. So hopefully people can share my screen. Um, yeah, thank you for the messages. Okay, right. So I think I've done enough talking now, to be honest. So I'm gonna. I see there's one person with their hand up. So now is the opportunity. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can use the Q&A. But yeah, feel free to shout up now. So, Pinyeri, you should be able to speak. I think I've given you permission to speak. So please go ahead. And again, if anybody else has any more questions, please. So there's one in the Q&A. Maybe I can just quickly answer that one. Please, how easy will it be to switch your email if you change affiliation from one university for another? As far as I'm aware, if you have a new university email or a new email in general, you can go into the settings and change your email very easily. What you can also do is have alternative email, so you can put more than one in there and it should be easy to access. So yeah, if you do move and you have a new email, I think you can just go into the settings and change that, and then you should be able to. It will probably send you a new activation email, and then you'll be able to edit it like that. But if you face any issues, please feel free to just contact me, and I should be able to help you. Are there any more questions about the forum? Thank you, Ayumide. Yeah, thanks for being engaged as always. Hopefully you can make the most of it. I am getting Discourse Hub on the Play Store. Let me just check what. See, I'm not sure what it would be on Google Phone. I'm not sure if the name of the app would be different. But I think let's just see. Okay, yes, on Apple it is Discourse Hub. So yeah, everyone, for people listening here in the chat or listening um, on YouTube, Discourse Hub is the app, and then you're able to basically access all of the different features. Thanks, Fernando. Okay, so I'll give it like no worries for answering your question, Abinda. I'll give it one more minute for questions, but if not, I think I've probably talked for too long anyway. But I think I should have covered everything. And what I will say just before I end is I'm really looking forward to seeing you all taking part in this. I'm really excited about how we can use this space. And also more generally for the EMC, I think if people are wondering why there's been less events and what's going on, I think it's just, summer holidays. I've had quite a few, as has everybody else, and we've had EMP Global, which is quite a big event. So things have been going on, but we haven't stopped. So there'll be more events coming in the near future and long-term future. So very exciting stuff, and please stay involved because without you guys being engaged, none of this would happen. So yeah, please keep being involved, and thanks very much for listening. And I'm going to assume there are no. Oh, okay, one more question. Is there an indication of how many active users are on the different tools? The old Google group had been rather inactive. Yes, good question. I'm not 100% sure if non-admin users may be able to access that, but I think sort of on the admin side, we should be able to see how many active users there are. There is information on how many people are how many people will be signing up, how many people will be posting. So I think we will be able to track how many active users there are. I also think in the beginning as well, there may not be that many. So I think just by looking, it'll be quite obvious that there's, 5 regular people being involved. And if you do actually want the information of how many people are consistently being a part of it, I think we could also share that if you can't access it. And hopefully, yes, the old onset group, for example, was infested with spam. Hopefully, we won't get that with this group. And if we do have anything like that, we're going to make sure we're quite active on managing it and removing it. So hopefully that answers the question. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. And I'm just going to say oh, we got another question. Can the platform entertain other languages? I was able to post. Okay, so in terms of the languages, I think I would encourage people to post in other languages, but just be aware that getting a response in another language may not happen as quickly, or depending on what tool you're in, and which if the developers speak that language themselves, whether they can respond promptly. So yeah, I would encourage this platform to be, it doesn't have to be just English. It can be any language, but I would just be careful. No, not careful. I would just consider the fact that maybe you might not get a response in that language as quickly or straight away. Okay. Thank you very much, Noor. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for joining the webinar or listening on YouTube. So I think that, yeah, if you have any more questions, probably just sign up to the forum and get in there straight away. And reach out to us. Drop me a DM on the forum if you have any questions. And yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, the link will be in the description to access the site. But yeah, thanks very much, everyone, and we'll see you soon.